Using Suno 5.5 to try and create a full album, the challenge is to see if Suno is creative enough to create many songs that can sort of become a complete unique album, so the songs don't all sound the same. We are going to assume an average user with no technical musical background. The user will not be seeding the prompts with human-created samples, so Suno has to create all the music with no real instruments, no human involvement. And we're not going to be using Suno Studio. We're not going to be doing any mastering, not using any other software. Effectively, we're using Suno at the level that everybody, any normal person can generate a prompt. So now let's try and create the first track with only just a very basic direct prompt. Nothing sophisticated. A very simple prompt that just says create an Amapiano song. Suno always creates two versions for each generation, and when you press create, if you just listen to the first version, it sounds good, nothing wrong with this. Also listening to the second version, it also sounds very good. There's not really much to criticize about it. And at this stage, I don't have any lyrics. I've only used a very simple prompt. Very low effort, zero creative input from me as a user. I don't know anything about technical musical production. We can actually tick off the first track as being completed. So now, let's try and create the next track using exactly the same strategy of very low effort. We're just going to simply press create, and logically we should be getting a completely different song this time around. So let's try just that. Simply press create. Okay, so now this is meant to be our track 2, the next track, but now it sounds very similar to the very first batch from track 1. For creating a real album, each song is meant to be unique, so we're gonna have to reject this second track. And this is pretty much the story of Suno, specifically our current version 5.5. If you were to listen very carefully to most of the songs that it generates, they all have a very similar style. They even use the same voices. I'm going to try my best with this diagram to illustrate what I think Suno is doing, the inner workings. This is not a fact. It's only my very educated guess. So, for well-known genres, specifically American-based music such as pop, R&B, country, Suno would have had a lot of training data. So you can expect there's going to be a lot of variety. There's going to be a bigger pool of songs that are going to be sort of more or less trying to be unique. Now, if we come to the popular South African genre, such as Amapiano, it feels as though there's been just very limited training. And I mean, this is fair. Amapiano is not international, is not really as old as country music or pop. But now when you listen to most of the Amapiano songs, Suno's limitations really do begin to show. For one, it is though Amapiano was only trained on about 5 to 10 songs. Again, this is not a fact. It's sort of the impression that I'm getting, because Suno appears like it's generating the song from just a very limited number of templates. Now the core limitations with this current version 5.5, it does sound like Suno is really doing copy and paste, and there's actually very little genuine creativity. It doesn't sound like it's doing artificial intelligence in a very detailed way. More like it's just mimicking a couple of songs from the pool of training data. So, of course, there are things that if you are a very advanced user, you can try to force Suno to generate unique songs. For the first 2 songs, my prompts were very basic to the point of me being very lazy. So we can try playing around with these creativity sliders here. We can move these sliders around. We can try and nudge Suno into being more creative. Another good method is to use much more sophisticated prompts with the help of AI models such as ChatGPT and Google Gemini. So let's use Google Gemini to create an Amapiano songs with Zulu lyrics, and it has some complex prompts. These sort of prompts can take a long time to craft, and many advanced users go about this is that they have some pre-made templates. In my case, I have these as skills, meaning Google Gemini or ChatGPT is always going to generate these prompts as almost a preset template. Now, this much more sophisticated prompt, it does create a much better song. But now our main problem still remains in that after doing all this work of doing advanced prompting, Suno is still going to generate more or less similar sounding songs. I mean, I could continue pressing another generate 1,000 times and there's not going to be much of a big difference. So here's an example of a whole lot of songs that Amapiano songs that I've generated. I was trying out different prompts. Most of them sound similar. So, can a non-musician create a brand new Amapiano album using Suno 5.5 where the songs are unique and they push the genre forward? The simple, straightforward answer at this moment is a big no. Even with much more complex prompting, the current version of Suno appears to be very limited to an example of about 5 to 10 songs on which it was trained. Of course, you can generate 1,000 songs, but most of them are most likely going to end up sounding very similar. So at this stage, Suno cannot yet challenge a real human producer in terms of genuine novel creativity.